Next guy, Mark Rosenthal. Are you on the phone, Mark?
Yeah, hey, Sam.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Now, so as I understand it, you are a playwright. You live in Massachusetts. Where in Massachusetts?
Great Barrington.
Great Barrington, Massachusetts, in Western Mass. And you founded, I guess just less than a week ago, now we're talking Friday, you founded a Facebook page or a Facebook group entitled Boycott Whole Foods. It now has, as of about a half an hour ago, 17,667 friends.
Yeah.
Now, that is astounding, but I want to first hear why it is that you started this page.
Well, I read the op-ed. I'm not sure what website. It might have been Daily Kos. Read the op-ed that John Mackey, the CEO and co-founder of Whole Foods, wrote for the Wall Street Journal, I believe with the help of Lanny Davis. God help us all.
Now, for people who don't know who Lanny Davis is a professional shill. He goes on to programs as a pundit. The guy, the one thing that I like about Lanny Davis is that you can be sure if he advocates anything, he is being paid by someone who will benefit from that.
Yes.
That's the one. That's the beauty of Lanny Davis. You always know he is whoring himself out if his lips are moving.
Yep.
So Lanny Davis is out there shilling for the CEO from Whole Foods.
Yes, and I read the op-ed and the shout out to Margaret Thatcher that he gave, and the more I read, the more annoyed, upset I got, because I'm reading, it's cognitive dissonance. Reading an op-ed from the guy who started this company, whose motto is like community, and reading him basically saying that we need deregulation because that's why the whole insurance business is screwed up, and that we should dismantle the social safety net. I mean, he's saying these programs and people using our money, and that he. It just blew my mind. And then talking about himself as if he's generous because they give health care to their employees with a $2,500 deductible. And then going on to say, in as snarky a voice as you can get in the Wall Street Journal, so they spend that first $2,500 carefully. Like his employees are stupid children running around going to the emergency room willy-nilly for hangnails. And
well, now, Mark, this is the classic libertarian conservative perspective on healthcare. Now, apparently, what they do is they have a $2,500 deductible, but he gives them an $1,800, what would be the equivalent of a health savings fund. Because the theory that guys like this guy have is that when you're a patient, it's like being a consumer.
Right.
And you will really question whether or not you go to see your doctor if you know it's going to cost you money. And if you can save money and keep more money in your bank account instead of going to the doctor, then everything's going to be fine. Now I can give you an example. 3 weeks ago, for 3 days, I had a 103-degree temperature. Now, under this guy's system, I'm supposed to ask myself, all right, look, I don't make that much money. I make decent money at Whole Foods, but not great money. I sure wanted to buy, I wanted to have that vacation. I don't want to cut into that fund. I'm going to blow it off. And I don't go see the doctor. 3 weeks later, I'm in the hospital because I have pneumonia. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's basically what his plan is. Now, but what's interesting is, on the other hand, Whole Foods is a company that's been held up in high regard by progressives, by environmentalists, because they push a lot of good sort of policies that we do appreciate. Sustainability, environmental, a good sense of environmentalism, and to a certain extent localism as well. So, was there any? This is what you were dealing with when you said cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, and just taking a look at this and thinking the more I've read from people posting on the Facebook group and Twittering and all of that, is that people feel they were duped. We feel like we've been suckered. I mean, yeah, shocking that a corporation could, dupe people, I know, but feeling that we paid a premium for Whole Foods products. We knew we were paying more than right next door. We knew in Union Square, there's a farmer's market across the street. Okay, Whole Foods is air-conditioned. That might be part of it. But people know they're paying more for the Whole Foods brand because the Whole Foods brand was supposed to stand for community, for caring for your community, and finding out that, Mackey only cares about the parts of the community that directly touch his life. The lettuce that goes in his salad and how the lamb's treated that he's going to eat. So, but what about, people have been saying, oh, what about the 40,000 Whole Foods employees you're going to hurt with this boycott? And I'm thinking, what about the 40 million uninsured people who don't even work there, who can't even shop there, and the tens of millions of people who are underinsured? And I think the best way we could help the Whole Foods employees is,
I think that's a good point. I would also argue that, where was people's concern about the Whole Food employees when this guy went out and bought Wild Oats?
Yeah.
Right? They closed down a lot of Wild Oats stores. People lost their jobs there. And a lot of people thought it was a very risky play on his part, which also endangers his employees. But you never hear that end of it. I mean, I think what you're doing is, at first I was a little bit, I got to admit, it struck me as I wasn't sure if I get this, but I got to say I've come around quite quickly because the bottom line is, even if this guy was, duping people, he was promoting certain values that people, like you said, were willing to pay for a premium for. But, the problem is he can't come out on the pages of Wall Street Journal and promote other values that go against the customers he's been either duping or courting. And, that's why they call it a marketplace, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that we can teach not just Mackey and the Whole Foods people a lesson, but the other corporations and politicians who want to take progressive dollars and progressive votes and talk about community and then turn around and spit in our faces.
All right,
that
so
we're
what's
not
next,
going to pay
Mark?
for it.
What's next?
Next after, when's the boycott over sort of thing?
Do you see where this goes? Do you just let it ride? I mean, do you have any plans, or is this you're just going to play it by ear?
Yeah, we've been talking about that, and right now I feel like people are just starting to hear about it, really. Right now, I feel like the best thing we can do is not tell them what would make us call off the boycott. Let's let it ride a little. Let's let it build, because any boycotts I've read about that have been successful, they don't happen in a week. We're not on the 24-hour news cycle. We don't have to move to that rhythm. We have time.
Smart stuff, Mark Rosenthal. The Facebook page is Beyond Whole Foods. If you're Boycott
Yeah.
Whole Foods. You can check it out there. This is Sam Cedar filling in for Cenk on the Young Turks. Thanks for joining me, Mark.